Fired from her upcoming film The Caller for being a detriment to production, and oh no.
Lindsay Lohan's journey through Hollywood has been a turbulent one, filled with extreme highs and devastating lows. From the bright-eyed teen star of the early 2000s to the tabloid staple who faced personal struggles and battles with addiction, her life has been an open book for the public to scrutinize. But what many may not realize is that the truth of Lindsay's story is far more complex than what the media has painted over the years. In fact, her career and personal life were marred by dark forces at play in the entertainment industry, and there were times when it seemed that those in power tried to tear her down. Now, after years of self-imposed exile and healing, Lindsay is ready to tell her side of the story. It's a tale that might just surprise you, and it raises important questions about Hollywood's treatment of its stars. Lindsay's rise to fame in the early 2000s seemed like the classic Hollywood story, a talented young starlet breaking into the industry and capturing the public's heart. But behind the scenes, things were not as glamorous as they seemed. Lindsay came from a family deeply troubled by addiction, violence, and scandal. Her father, Michael Lohan, was frequently in the news for all the wrong reasons. In 2004, just days before Lindsay was set to host the MTV Movie Awards, Michael made headlines for allegedly striking his brother-in-law at a family party. This was followed by more bad press as he was accused of assaulting a sanitation worker and later charged with theft. In the midst of all this chaos, Lindsay was trying to navigate her own path in Hollywood. At just 18 years old, she was thrown into the limelight with little guidance and no real support system. It's not surprising, then, that she quickly found herself caught in a cycle of fame, controversy, and personal struggles. Hollywood, known for chewing up and spitting out its stars, seemed to be no different in Lindsay's case. As her popularity grew, so did the pressure to maintain a certain image, which led to a relentless barrage of paparazzi, rumors, and the ever-present desire to see her fail. Despite her obvious talent, Lindsay's career took a turn when Disney, the studio that had launched her into stardom with movies like The Parent Trap and Herbie, Fully Loaded, decided it was time for her to go. The company no longer saw her as the cute child star they could market, and as her personal troubles became public knowledge, she was essentially left to fend for herself. The Hollywood machine, once enamored with her, quickly turned its back. She found herself alone in a world that had once promised her everything, but now seemed determined to destroy her. The tabloids were relentless. Every misstep, every run-in with the law, and every trip to rehab was plastered on the front pages of magazines. For Lindsay, it seemed like there was no escape. She was a star trapped in a never-ending cycle of fame, addiction, and media scrutiny. Even when she tried to take a step back from the limelight, it was impossible to outrun the press. What fans didn't see, however, was the toll this took on her mental health and her personal well-being. The stress of being constantly hounded by the media took a physical and emotional toll, and Lindsay, who had always been open about her struggles, began to spiral. It wasn't just the paparazzi that contributed to her downfall. Lindsay's legal troubles, which began in 2007, only worsened her situation. From DUI arrests to probation violations, the actress seemed to be caught in a never-ending cycle of self-destruction. But while the media focused on her substance abuse and her personal issues, it became clear that there was something much darker at play. Hollywood was not simply exploiting Lindsay's mistakes for entertainment purposes, they were actively participating in her downfall. In 2006, as Lindsay's personal life became more chaotic, James G. Robinson, the CEO of Morgan Creek Productions, wrote a letter to the actress accusing her of being irresponsible and unprofessional on set. He referred to her absences as a result of her partying lifestyle, which seemed to be a cover-up for deeper issues. At the time, Lindsay was reportedly ill, but the studio refused to accept this as a valid excuse for her behavior. This only added to the pile of public judgment and rumors that painted Lindsay as an unreliable, difficult star. However, those closest to Lindsay knew that her troubles ran deeper than what the public knew. A source close to the actress denied the allegations of excessive partying, claiming that Lindsay hadn't been out of control. In fact, the source insisted that she had never been more together than she was at that time. But it was clear that Lindsay was in a toxic environment, surrounded by people who saw her as nothing more than a commodity to be exploited for profit. Her personal struggles were being used to fuel a narrative that benefited the industry, and no one seemed to care that she was being torn apart in the process. One of the most chilling aspects of Lindsay's story is the way the Hollywood elite attempted to control her life. Behind the scenes, there were powerful people working to put Lindsay under conservatorship, a move that would have allowed them to take control of her finances, career, and personal decisions. It was a strategy that had worked with other stars, most famously Britney Spears, and it seemed like Lindsay was being groomed for the same fate. But Lindsay wasn't going down without a fight. The plot to place Lindsay under conservatorship involved a key figure in the story, Lindsay's mother, Dina Lohan, and her manager, Lou Taylor. According to Michael Lohan, Lindsay's father, Dina, and Lou were working behind Lindsay's back to have her placed under conservatorship without her knowledge. This move was supposedly designed to control Lindsay's career and finances, but Michael fought back, vowing to protect his daughter from this fate. Michael Lohan has been open about the fact that he did not want to see his daughter's life controlled by people who had no genuine interest in her well-being. He was particularly vocal about Lou Taylor, who had allegedly tried to manipulate Dina into agreeing to the conservatorship, much like she had with Britney Spears' father. Michael revealed that he had to take legal action to stop this from happening, fearing that Lindsay's life would be ruined if the conservatorship went through. While the battle over Lindsay's conservatorship was happening behind closed doors, Lindsay was already in a fragile state. She had been through years of public humiliation, substance abuse problems, and media pressure, and now the very people she trusted were trying to take control of her life. But thanks to her father's intervention, Lindsay was able to avoid the fate that nearly befell her. However, Lindsay's troubles were far from over. After leaving Hollywood and relocating to Dubai, Lindsay was reportedly facing financial difficulties and was struggling to maintain her career. Rumors began circulating that Lindsay had turned to escorting as a means of survival, with some sources claiming that Dina Lohan was allegedly involved in exploiting her daughter for money. These rumors painted a picture of Lindsay as a woman desperate for money, selling her time to wealthy men in exchange for lavish gifts and expensive trips. The allegations were shocking, but they also pointed to a darker truth, that Lindsay's life had become a commodity, something to be bought and sold by those around her. Whether or not the rumors were true, they highlighted the exploitation Lindsay had suffered throughout her career. From her early days as a Disney star to her struggles in Hollywood, it seemed that Lindsay was always being used, never given a chance to simply be herself. Despite all the struggles, Lindsay has been making a slow and steady comeback in recent years. She signed a deal with Netflix, starring in romantic films like Falling for Christmas and Irish Wish, the latter becoming one of the most watched movies on the streaming platform. She's also been seen at fashion shows and has regained some semblance of the star power she once had. But as fans watch her rise again, they can't help but wonder, will Lindsay ever truly escape the grip of the Hollywood machine? Or will she always be fighting against forces that seek to control her? At the end of the day, Lindsay Lohan's story is one of survival. Despite all the obstacles, the betrayals, and the public humiliation, she's still standing. She's rebuilt her life away from the chaos of Hollywood, and while she may never fully escape the shadow of her past, she deserves to be celebrated for the strength and resilience she's shown. Her story is a warning to the next generation of stars. Be careful who you trust, because in Hollywood, not everyone has your best interests at heart. In the end, it remains to be seen if Lindsay will ever fully overcome the trauma of her past. The road ahead may still be rocky, but one thing is certain, Lindsay Lohan is not going down without a fight. She has survived the worst that Hollywood has to offer, and now she's ready to reclaim her life, her career, and her future. But what do you think? Is Hollywood truly as toxic as it seems? And will Lindsay ever get the chance to live a life free from the ghosts of her past? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.